Hello, my friends. I thought I would show you one of my favorite techniques this afternoon, and this is my watercolor pencils. They are the most forgiving coloring tool that there is, and they're just so simple. So I am using the Fluffiest Friends, which is part of the online exclusives that just popped up. They're really cute. They're all kind of chubby little animals. We have a bunny, a beaver, a bear, a kitty, and a kitty with a balloon. Maybe that's not a kitty. Maybe that's a hamster. I don't know. You tell me what that is. It's little. I bet it's a hamster. And then there's a little nest for the bird to sit in. So I'm doing the bear because he's the coolest and my favorite. So I want to show you how to do him. You start out with, oh, this is a bundle too. There is a set of dies that go along with this. And here's our bear. But there's one, oh goodness, I'm kind of buried in here. There's all the animals have their own die. The nest has one. This cool hive, a branch. So you could do a whole scene if you wanted. It's really great. Today, we're just going to talk about the coloring though, and how to get the colors the way you want. So I'm using Memento, which is the easiest black ink to use. I'm also going to show you what it looks like if you use a smoky slate, if you don't want to highlight the outline of the stamp as much. So here's that one, and I already colored it. I used crushed curry for my bear body, and I added a little Cajun craze, and then my honey pot is Coastal Cabana, and then this is your blender pen. The reason I like coloring with watercolor pencils is it lets you get started. It's not crazy expensive. You can get into coloring with lots of options rather inexpensively. So let's do a little coloring on the bear, and then I'll show you how we could do a different type of coloring. The crushed curry, the cool part about watercolor pencils is the more color you lay down, this is called laying down color. You're just coloring basically, but the heavier you color, the more you'll have to blend. So I tend to go along with what the stamp set tells me. That way I get my shading the way I want it. Notice it's kind of darker here, but I don't need to worry about whether there's lines where the pencils are or any of those things. I'm going to show you how to get rid of them in just a second. I'm not going to do the whole bear this time. That's why you can see him right here. I just want you to get like an idea of how this goes. So I go pretty heavy over the lines. Now you're thinking, well, that's not super pretty, Kara. It's kind of weird, you know? It doesn't really do much for you. You can see the lines of the bear, right? Okay. So now we get the handy dandy blender pen. It's double-ended. They're both the same. They come 3 in a pack, and they last a long time. They're not refillable. And you're just going to lightly blend. Now, you don't want to scrub. It's a really light touch. If this is just plain white cardstock, not the thick, just plain basic white cardstock. And you'll notice, even if I don't have any pencil, I kind of I bring the color over here. So I can pick this up again and bring this over. So if I want a lighter shade on his muzzle, I don't even really need to color. I'm just going to drag it over from this part. Let it dry, and you can always come back and add more. It's really cool. When you want to switch to a different color, you need to clean off your blender pen. So you'll simply come down here, let me get rid of some of it right here, and you're just going to wipe it on a part of the paper. I'm going to cut this off, remember, I'm going to use my die. You're going to come over here and wipe off the blender pen, and then you can use a different color. So I used Calypso Coral on his pot there. Let's use some Granny Apple Green so you can see a totally different look. Again, I'm going to use the highlights of the stamp set that the artist designed to tell me where the colors go. So I'm heavier where those lines are. Okay. Yep. And then I'm just gonna put a little bit of color over here. I don't want it super dark, but I don't really want those lines of the pencil to show. So I'm gonna come in with my blender pen. And again, it's a little bit of a flick with your brush rather than a scrub. If I scrub too much, the paper will kind of ball up and kind of rub off. So I don't want that. But you take where the heaviest amount of pencil is and just kind of blend it in. And as it dries, you will love it. All right. And again, you clean it off before you put the cap on, so you're ready to start. Now, it might stain this a little, but it's not going to carry into the next color that you use. Then there's one more thing that you can use, which I don't know why I put it away, but I guess I did. And it's Wink of Stella. Wink of Stella is kind of a glitter. This is the clear. It's my favorite. And I'm just going to put this on the honey pot. Now, you're not going to see this, I promise, in the camera, but I'll bring it up close so we can maybe get a peek. And this just adds ever so slight glimmer. Think that Tink from Tinkerbell just came in and went around and added a little bit of fairy dust. It just adds a little, I don't know, can you see the glimmer? Little bit, right? See, it's on the bear's nose, this bear. It's on his nose, his eyes, and the honey pot. That's what Wink of Stella does. So to get all of this coloring going, you need this box of watercolor pencils. I'll put the links down below later. You need the blender pens. Remember I said they come in 3s, so they last you a long time. Wink of Stella, and then your stamp set that you choose. I like Memento ink, but I want to show you what it looks like if you use Smoky Slate. So let's grab some Smoky Slate and let's grab a different stamp so that you can see. Let's do the bunny. So here's our little bunny. Just a quick update on how stamps come from Stampin' Up. These red rubber ones come looking like this, but there's also this, which gives us it tells us what it is. So this is the bunny, right? These little stickers go on the back. So you peel one side off, right? There's always a slit in the backing. This is crazy sticky. I'm going to take my bunny, make sure it's in the right direction, and I'm going to lay it down right in that space. Okay. Now when I pick it up, now I know what the stamp is. And I can push it without, it's also super sticky. See that? So it sticks better on my block, no wiggling around. And let me move Mr. Bear out of the way. So we're going to do him or her, this little bunny with a cupcake in the Smoky Slate. Right here. So you can see, let's get these guys together. They are, it makes the lines just a little bit lighter, not so distinct. So especially if it's for like a baby shower or some kind of a pastel-y looking, I'm going to go with some Flirty Flamingo for my bunny. His ears. Again, I'm going to go with a color that the artist put down, where the artist put down color. So I want Flirty Flamingo in the ears. And I think I want it on the pads of his feet or her feet too. Flirty Flamingo, and then his little toes. Now I want my bunny to be a light grayish pink. So I need, let's see, what do I have in here? Oh, no, 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 no. We are going to go with some gorgeous grape. This bunny's going to be grape. I just changed my whole look. So put a little bit of grape down where the lines are, not super heavy, right? A little bit of grape. Now you're thinking, well, the pink, what are you going to do with that? Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't dry. It's not like a marker that I have to rush to do. That's the beauty of watercolor. It gives you time. It gives you an opportunity to not rush in. So you don't have to feel like, oh, what if I mess it up? And you can always add more color later. So again, I'm just highlighting wherever the stamp artist originally highlighted. I'm going to kind of put a little bit in here where the toes are. Right? And then I'm going to grab the blender pen and go to work, blending all these colors in. I might need some more, I don't know, but let's see how we look, because I didn't want this to be deep purple, but I wanted some purple. See how cool that looks and how it just blends in. And I kind of want the bunny's face to have a white highlight to it. So I don't know, I might have to come back with a little more, in which case I'm going to let it dry a little before I try and color with a pencil if it's a little damp from the blender pen. The blender pen will dry pretty quickly. I want to show you one other way to get your colors where you want them. So now I'm thinking, oh, I need a little more, right? It's a little too pale. I need more purple, more gorgeous grape. All right, hold on. Now remember I said I'm going to cut these guys out with the dies. So the extra paper that's around the bunny, I'm not going to use that for anything. That's going to be scrap. So I'm going to take my gorgeous grape and I'm going to take the side of my pencil and I'm going to lay down some purple, some gorgeous grape. Now I'm going to come along with this and I'm going to pick it up. See it? Then I'm going to bring it over here and now I'm going to paint with it. Isn't that cool? It's like the coolest thing you've ever seen. So you get a little paint and you bring it over. So this is how you get lighter colors. And if you don't like it, just wait a minute, let it dry a little and I bet you'll like it better. A little more. Now you can use watercolor paper and that will absorb more of the color. It'll give you a different look. So you can come play with that and see what you like. I'll take a picture of this after it dries because you're going to be really surprised at how different it is when it really dries, which is going to take it a few minutes. We're not going to hang here and watch it dry. We're not watching paint dry, guys. Right? All right, so Mr. Bunny, I'm going to let you dry. I'm going to come in with a little Wink of Stella too, which is going to wet it up again. This face needs a little something in here. See how cool that is? And at first I didn't really like the way the color was brighter in different places, but as it dries, I really like it. And then if you decide, well, you know what, the whiskers are they're kind of fading into the darkness because I didn't use the dark ink. I can take my black marker and I can add a little something. And I can just come in, this is just the journaling pen. And I can go over the nose and the whiskers if I want to highlight them. Okay. And then we're going to take a little bit of Wink of Stella. And I'm going to go over his feet. And they're going to shimmer. Because of course his feet are going to shimmer. And then I'm going to come in with a bright color and do the cupcake. Granny apple green frosting. A little bit of pink on the cherry. And then Wink Estella. I'm not going to use the blender. I'm just going to Wink Estella. So you can see it's a different look by using the smoky slate. Some people like the lighter color. Some people like the distinction of the memento. And then you just take this little baby and you go ahead and cut it out. And it goes right on the front of a card. Right? Super cute. Okay, this is a great way to get to color and not a huge investment to see if you really like it. It's very relaxing, doesn't have to be stressful. You need the watercolor pencils, the blender pen. I always say Wink Estella because that's just really special. And then the memento. All right, happy coloring.